So if you guys saw my video from the start of the week, you would have heard me say that I had already filmed this video and my reading wrap up, but I lost the footage, or half of the footage, not all the footage, just half of the footage. So we're redoing it. Hello everyone. So today's video is my 10 before the end. So without further ado, grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get into it. So if you've never seen 10 before the end before, it's essentially 10 books. You pick out 10 books that you want to read before the end of the year, and you do it in the last 10 weeks of the year. So when you guys watch this, next week will be 10 weeks before the end of the year, which is insane. I think it's next week. Let me double check that, just so I'm not giving you the wrong information. Yep, so the week that you guys are watching this, or like next week, it's 10 before the end. So this video is going up on Friday when I'm filming it on the, I think it's the 17th. I think Friday's the 17th. No, yes, Friday is the 17th. So this is going up on the 17th, and literally on the 22nd, that is 10 weeks before the end of the year. So that's insane to me. I have seen this on multiple people's platforms last year, so we're going to go through that. Now, there is certain books in this stack that I am more excited to read than others. There is some on this that I am like, I just want to get through them because they've been on the TBR for a long time. We have 5 fantasy, 3 romance, and 2 like mystery thrillers. So let's start with the romance books. Again, these are in no particular order. I will just tell you guys which ones I'm more excited to read or are higher up on the priority and for what reason. So the first one we have is Brutal Prince, which is the first book in the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. I have read the second book in this series. They are interconnected standalones, so you can read them out of order. And I will suggest that you definitely can read them out of order. Like if you can't get your hands on the first one, then just go to the second or third. It's totally fine. You do get an insight into this couple in the second book, but not enough for it to completely spoil the first book. So because I've had Savage Lover, and Savage Lover is the third book, but Stolen Heir, I'd had both of them on the TBR for almost a year before I read Stolen Heir. I want to get Brutal Birthright done. Brutal Prince, sorry, I want to get that done. So that's the first one. I'll quickly read you the back. It says, they're a match made in hell. The Griffins and the Gallows have been battling for control of Chicago's underworld for generations. Their rivalry has always been flammable, but it reignites with a fury when Ada, the youngest and wildest Gallo sibling, crashes a party at the Griffin mansion and accidentally sets fire to the library. To starve off all-out war, her father quickly arranges a marriage between her and Callum Griffin, eldest son and heir to the Irish Mafia. Cold, ambitious, and brutal, Callum is determined to tame his headstrong new bride, but Ada is more than capable of giving as good as she gets, starting with poisoning Callum on their wedding night. The problem is, murdering him would be a lot easier if he didn't look so good while she was trying to do it. She's got a lockbox around her heart, he's got something to prove. In their struggle for dominance, who will go up in flames first? So that sounds super interesting. I love mafia romances, so very keen for that one. Then the next one we have is First Time Caller by BK Borrison. I have seen this all over social media and I've heard nothing but good things over this particular book. I have heard that it gives like cozy romance, like fall vibes, Sleepless in Seattle vibes, like read around Valentine's Day, and I just think that this would be really cute to read. So I'm very excited for it. So I'll read you the back. Aiden Valentine has a secret. He's fallen out of love with love, which, as the host of Baltimore's romance hotline Heartstrings, is a bit of a problem. When a young girl calls into the station asking for dating advice for her mother, Lucy, the interview goes viral, thrusting Aiden and Heartstrings into the limelight. Lucy Stone thought she was doing just fine, but with all of Baltimore scrutinizing her love life, or lack thereof, she begins to question whether she's as happy as she thought. Maybe a little more romance wouldn't be such a bad thing. Everyone wants Lucy to find her happy ending, even the handsome, temperamental man calling the shots. But as sparks start to fly behind the scenes, Lucy must make the final call between a radio-sponsored happily ever after or the man in the headphones next to her. So that sounds super sweet and very excited to read this. This has just been on the TBR for quite a few months, and again, it's just one of those books that I've seen everywhere and I just really, really want to get to it. So that's book number 2, but again, like I said, they're not in any particular order. I will tell you the ones that like I really, really want to read first that are like higher up on the priority for me. We haven't got there yet. The next one is Wicked Beauty by Katee Robert. This is the 3rd book in the Dark Olympus series. I started reading this series last year. I think I read Neon Gods towards the end of last year, and so like we're coming up on, you know, 12 months of me reading this series and I'm only on book 3, so I just really want to get through this series. I really love this series. I really love Katee Roberts' writing. I've read 3 books by her so far and I've loved every single one of them. I'll read you the back. This says, in Olympus you either have the power to rule or you are ruled. Achilles Callus may have been born with nothing, but as a child he vowed he would claw his way into the poisonous city's inner circle. Now that a coveted role has opened to anyone with the strength to claim it, he and his partner Patroclus Photis plan to compete and double their odds of winning. Neither expect infamous beauty Helen Kasos to be part of the prize, or the complicated fire that burns the moment she looks their way. Zeus may have decided Helen is his to give away, but she has her own plans. She enters the competition as a middle finger to the meddling 13 rulers, effectively vying for her own hand in marriage. Unfortunately, there are those who would rather see her dead than leading the city. The only people she can trust are the ones she can't keep her hands off of, Achilles and Patroclus. But can she really believe that they have her best interests at heart when every stolen kiss is a battlefield? So this entire series are dark retellings or dark reimaginings of, I think it's like Greek mythology and Greek gods and stuff like that. So this is a scorchingly hot modern retelling of Achilles, Patroclus, and Helen of Troy. So again, super excited to read this. This is definitely up there on like, I really want to read this. So that's that one. Okay, and let's go on to my mystery thrillers. So the first one I'm going to talk to you about is an Anna Downs book. You guys know that I read Red River Road earlier this year, and I really loved that book, and have just found like a passion for Anna Downs' writing after reading more mystery thrillers. So this is called The Shadow House. I know you guys will struggle to see that from where you are, but this is called The Shadow House by Anna Downs. The front says 2 mothers, 2 sons, 1 worst nightmare. I'll read you the back. I love Anna Downs' book for multiple reasons. One, I love how big the writing is on the pages. Like I forgot I can do this for you guys now. I can zoom in and it will automatically focus. But I love how big the writing is for like the pages. So I'll read you the back. This sounds so interesting and I'm so excited to read it. It says, when single mother Alex flees her abusive relationship and moves with her teenage son and baby girl to a rural eco-village, she thinks she's made the best decision of her life. Pine Ridge is idyllic and the off-grid lifestyle and remote location are perfect, and the community is welcoming, mostly. Charmed by its magnetic founder, Kit, and the natural beauty of the former farmland, Alex settles easily into her new home. But her arrival at Pine Ridge disturbs barely submerged secrets, and she's shaken by a series of eerily familiar events that seem to be connected to the abandoned farmhouse on the hill. Alex realizes that in escaping her own shadowy past, she may have stumbled into someone else's, and this time there may be nowhere to run. So love that. Also, she's an Australian author. She wrote Red River Road, which is based in WA, and she's also an Australian author. So love that. Very excited for this one. This is definitely another one that's really high up. Both of my mystery slash thrillers are. So that's one. The other one, also you guys would know if you watched my Rotary Book Fair bookish vlog. I got these from the Cooma Rotary Book Fair in late June, July. This one is Ritual by Mo Hayder. Discovered that this is a female author, which I also love. I love female authors that write mystery thrillers. I think they do such a good job. I'll read you the back. This sounds so interesting. I'm so excited to read it. Just after lunch on a Tuesday in April, 9 feet underwater, police diver Flea Marley closes her gloved fingers around a human hand. The fact that there's no body attached is disturbing enough, yet more disturbing is the discovery a day later of the matching hand. Both have been recently amputated, and the indicators are that the victim was still alive when they were removed. DI Jack Caffrey has been newly seconded to Major Crime Investigation Unit in Bristol. He and Flea soon established that the hands belong to a boy who has recently disappeared. Their search for him and for his abductor leads them into the darkest recesses of Bristol's underworld, where drug addiction is rife, where street kids sell themselves for a hit, and where an ancient evil lurks, an evil that feeds off the blood and flesh of others. So that sounds super interesting. It sounds like murder mystery, maybe a bit of cannibalism. I'm very much into that. I love like Criminal Minds, so this seems right up my alley for that. And now we're going into fantasy, which is the big section. So I'm just gonna pull them off my TBR cart one by one. You guys know that I use the TBR cart for my monthly TBRs, and then the bottom I've got for my 10 before the end. So the first one is Empire of the Vampire by Kristoff. This was sent to me by book bestie Captain Ventress. I will put him on the screen as well as share his YouTube channel down below. He does gaming videos. They're great. But he sent this to me last year for Christmas as a Christmas present, and I still haven't read it. And this is why. I will show you why. I'm sorry, why is that writing so small? It is tiny. Like, what are you trying to do to me, Cap? Anyway, I have heard that this story is really good. Every time I read the back, it seems really interesting. What I'm going to end up doing is buying this on Kindle and reading it on Kindle, because I'm not doing that. Who's doing that? Like, Cap, are we good? Anyway, you know I love you. So I'll read you the back of this. I love vampire stories. I have just read Vampire Academy and it wasn't super good, but I just have forgotten like how much I do love vampire stories. So that makes me more excited to read this. So I'll quickly read you the back. It has been 27 long years since the last sunrise. Ever since, vampires have waged war against humanity, building their eternal empire even as they tear down our own. Gabriel de Leon, half man, half monster, and last remaining Silver Saint, a sworn brother of the Holy Silver Order, dedicated to defending the realm from the creatures of the night, is all that stands between the world and its end. Imprisoned by the very monsters he has vowed to destroy, Gabriel is forced to tell his story, a story of legendary battles and forbidden love, of faith lost and friendships won, of the war of the blood and the forever king, and the quest for humanity's last remaining hope, the Holy Grail. So it sounds super interesting. I am very excited to read this, and this is definitely high on the priority before the end of the year because it's been on the TBR for almost 12 months. Like, I need to get to it. I need to get to it. And then this is a new one to the TBR, and the reason why this one is on the 10 before the end is because I want to read it and get my review out there and I want to read it before I find spoilers, essentially. And it is Direbound by Sable Sorrenson. This is a Wolves of Ruin novel, so it's obviously going to be part of a series, and everything I've heard about this is like Fourth Wing but with direwolves, which sounds awesome. So I'll read you the back. I love it, and there's other books here that I probably should pick up first, but I really want to read this, but I need to read Lights Out first. That's going to be what I'm going to do today and tomorrow is binge read that. But anyway, I'll read you the back. It says, only the worthy survive the bonding trials. She'll risk her life and her heart to be one of them. Meryn Cooper has always hated the bonded, elite warriors who form mental links with the massive, vicious direwolves they ride. The bonded live in luxury, while Meryn struggles to keep her family out of poverty. And when her little sister, Sailor, is kidnapped, stolen across the border by the immortal monsters her country has spent centuries fighting, Meryn's world falls apart. Desperate to cross the front and save her sister, Meryn enlists in the army and is thrown into the deadly bonding trials where any mistake will cost her life. Now Meryn must survive 4 months of training at the castle. She is bound to a feral direwolf who refuses to communicate. The other trainees would love to spill her common blood, and her cold and beautiful instructor Stark Therian is eager to punish any weakness. Everything is a competition and everyone is out to get her, everyone except the dangerously handsome crown prince whose attention adds another target to her back. In the castle, every smile hides a knife and the halls hide dark secrets. It's bond or bleed, duel or die. Failure is ruin. So it sounds super interesting. It's kind of giving love triangle, which isn't my favorite, but I'm still excited to read this for like the bonding with the direwolves. That sounds awesome. So this is also very much like want to read this ASAP. Then we have, just because this one has been on the TBR for a year, is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I don't know what it is that keeps turning me off this book and why I just don't pick it up, but I really would love to read it. Again, I know that this has dragons in it. It sounds super interesting and I am super excited to read it, but I never go to pick it up. So it needs to be read before the end of this year. So I'll quickly read you the back. It says, he's fire and brimstone, I'm shattered ice. I'll gladly burn beneath him until the world comes crumbling down. As an assassin for the rebellion, Rafe's job is to complete orders and never get caught. When a rival bounty hunter shatters her world, Rafe finds herself captured by the Guild of Nobles, a group of powerful fae. Crushed by the loss of his great love, dragon rider Khan Vagor took the head of a king and donned his melted crown. Now on a tireless quest to quell the never-ebbing ache in his chest, a clue lures him into the capital's high-security prison where he stumbles upon the imprisoned Rafe. Together they seek truths that threaten to unravel everything they know about their world and each other. Like, it sounds so interesting, and I'm sorry if you can be that captivating in literally that much of a blurb compared to something like Direbound. Like, this whole thing. To me, that's insane. So I am excited to read this, but it's definitely not as high up as some of the other ones, but I do want to read it before the end of the year. And we have 2 more. The second to last one is Glow of the Everflame by Penn. Now this is a new, again, another recent addition to the TBR. However, I had Spark of the Everflame for almost a year on the TBR and I only just read that recently. And I was not the biggest fan of Spark of the Everflame, so I want to read Glow and see if it's any better. I will not be reading you the back of this one because it is the second book in the series. But what I will do is I'll read you the back of Spark of the Everflame so that you guys can know what it's about, the series as a whole anyway. So the back of Spark of the Everflame is, when old secrets catch fire, everything will burn. In a mortal world, colonized by the gods and ruled over by the Descended, their cruel, magic-wielding offspring, DM Bellator yearns to escape the insular life of her poor village. When her mother suddenly disappears and DM discovers a dangerous secret about her past, she seizes an unexpected opportunity to enter the dark world of Descended royalty and unlock the web of mysteries her mother left behind. When the dying king's handsome and enigmatic heir watching her every move, and a ruthless rebel alliance recruiting her to join the growing civil war, DM will have to navigate the unwritten rules of love, power, and politics in order to save her family and all of mortal kind. So that's what the series is about. But the only reason why I really want to continue on with this series and continue on with this book is because of the way that the first one ended. Literally the last line is I need to know. I need to know what's happening. I need to continue on. I have heard that this series is a lot like ACOTAR in terms of like the first book is kind of shit. The second book gets a lot better and it gets better as we go through the series, because I was not the biggest fan of Spark of the Everflame. So hopefully I prefer Glow of the Everflame. And then the final book in my 10 before the end is A Crown So Silver by Lyra Selene. I read A Feather So Black at the start of last year, loved it. This book came out at the start of this year and I didn't read it because it was around the same time, like it literally came out the same day or the week after Onyx Storm, and I was just in such a reading slump. And then it's taken me months to read a third of it. And I've gotten to that part and it started to get better, but I just got so shitty with the fact that it's taken me that long to get through it and it's taken that long for it to get good that I just ended up putting it down and haven't picked it back up since. So I really want to finish it before the end of the year. So again, this is the second book in the series, so I'm not going to read you the first one. I'm not going to read you the back of this book, but I will read you the back of A Feather So Black, which is the first book in the series. And also, can we just talk about these being the most beautiful covers of books ever? Like, oh, they're stunning. So I'll read you the back of A Feather So Black so you understand what the series is about. Also, these are very, very high fantasy books. They're quite complicated and quite complex, but I enjoy that every now and again. So the back of A Feather So Black says, in a kingdom where magic has been lost, Fia is a rare changeling. She was left behind by the wicked fair folk when they stole the High Queen's daughter, Ela. When a hidden gate to the world of the fair folk is discovered, Fia is tasked by the High Queen to retrieve Ela and break her curse. But she doesn't go alone. With her is Prince Logan, Ela's betrothed and Fia's childhood best friend. As the two journey into a world where magic winds through the roots of the trees and beauty can be a deadly illusion, Fia's mission is complicated by her feelings for the prince and her unexpected attraction to the dark-hearted Fey Lord holding Ela captive. Iran might be more monster than man, but he seems to understand Fia in a way no one ever has. So yeah, that's the first book in the series. So if that doesn't captivate you, then I don't know what will, because this book was so good. This got a 5-star from me and it was such a quick 5-star to give as well. So yeah, the second book in that series, A Crown So Silver, is number 10 on my 10 before the end. Okay, so that is the end of today's video. This has been a long day of filming. That is the end of today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on the notification bell, maybe share it out if you feel so inclined. Oh, I just realized that my nails kind of match my top. That was unintentional. Also, if you guys want some annotated books that you know that I have annotated, head over to my Etsy shop. That will also be linked in the description below. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Both of those will be linked on the screen as well as in the description box as well. And yeah, that is it for me today. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Please let me know what your 10 books are that you want to read before the end of the year, because I would love to hear from you. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Mwah.